Hi, this is Jessica Morris, and you are watching Don't Go Out There podcast.
In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all of our fans and listeners. Really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Before we get into tonight's film review, just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I'm going to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We hope you enjoy the episode. All right, guys, let's jump into the film review. We're taking on returning legendary blood donor, Sean Irwin's film review. He chose 2008's Repo, the Genetic Opera, a movie that I have never heard of until this pick. I went into it with, I won't say any kind of expectations, but kind of hopeful, just because I like Darren Lynn Bousman. It's got Bill Moseley. Really didn't know what I was getting myself into. I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. The only things I got to say about it is thank you, Sean, for the donation. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, that was nice. Okay, listen, this is, without exaggerating, one of, if not the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And I gave Rubber a 0. So I'm not sure which one I dislike more. I'll have to decide that by the end of the review. But, Whiskey and Tacos should already be banned from every social media platform we have because of his disgusting remarks about me on the Apple Podcast reviews. I put forth a motion that the Irwin family is the same. After this one, my God, sorry, Sean, this one hurt to watch. But I have a feeling that you knew it would. You knew it.
Glad to be back, fellas. Very excited. Thanks for bearing with me while I had some family stuff to deal with there. I'm glad to be back. Very excited. Unfortunately for me, I missed 2 good movies and came back on one of the worst movies we've ever covered. Full stop. No doubt about it. And I say it a lot in my notes, but I'm going to say it off the top here. If this movie, and I'm not anti-musical, okay? Like, I'm not one of the people that just doesn't like any single musical, but it doesn't work for me in this context. And this movie would be a little bit better if they weren't singing the whole fucking time, okay? And I know it's called opera, and buddy, we're going to talk about that. But this movie, man, it sucks. It's like it takes place on a watered down Temu underworld universe. I don't know what's going on. This is 1 hour and a half long acid trip. Sean, man, thank you for your donation. But why do you like to make us suffer? What is your intent here? Okay, you're supposed to be a fan of the show, and if you've got one of these punishment kinks where we just talk shit about your movie for an hour and a half, welcome. Then this is what you paid for, buddy, because this movie fucking sucks balls. And like you, Nico, I went in wanting to like it because I saw who's involved. One, Lionsgate and Twisted Pictures. I mean, when I saw the Lionsgate logo, I'm like, oh shit, this is kind of like a big studio thing that I'd never heard of. Big studio, I guess. And then, Darren Lynn Bousman's involved, and Paris Hilton's in it, and we, a guilty pleasure of mine sometimes is House of Wax, and Nico actually likes that movie unironically, and so there's some involvement here that I think is decent, but man, this is just not for me. And I actually like the villain of the Repo Man. Like I I saw, the Repo Man and I immediately thought of 1995 WWE, the fucking Repo Man. That Repo Man was significantly better than watching this Repo Man, and that's fucking saying something. Go ahead, Dustin.
Well, as far as musicals go, it does have better songs than Amelia Perez. So I'll give it credit there. But it's the worst musical that we've reviewed. I think the only other one that we've reviewed is Sweeney Todd. And I like musicals. I do. I'm unapologetic. I love musicals. Singing in the Rain, Chicago, Sweeney Todd, Moulin. I even like Moulin Rouge. But anyway, this is just an ugly movie. And I don't mean that metaphorically, like Human Centipede's ugly metaphorically as far as the subject matter. This movie is actually unpleasant to look at. Just like the filters on the cameras and the color grading and the awful CG. And my God, the songs. Just nonstop. It's just too much. I did not enjoy this one. Sorry, Sean.
And look, maybe we're in the minority because the IMDb score, I believe, is up there. I mean, it's higher, if I recall.
We are.
And maybe it's only because it's a percentage, and they had 3 people that voted on it, and maybe 2 of them were the Irwin family. I don't know, but it is up there. I know Dustin will touch on that. I don't know how many votes were on that, but it is up there. So maybe we're in the minority here.
So I was going to touch on that at the end of the show when I go over that stuff, but I'll go ahead and touch on it now. 27,640 votes on
Jesus Christ.
IMDb. I'll save the score for later. That way, I don't bury the lead there. Letterboxd has a high score and has, let me see how many, 19,000 reviews. But here's the thing. I didn't read the IMDb reviews. I did skim through the Letterboxd reviews, and almost every review that was a 3 or higher was saying, yes, this movie sucks, but I love it anyway. Yes, this movie is awful, objectively bad, but it just has a special place in my heart. So this is the textbook definition of a guilty pleasure movie for a lot of people. And from reading those reviews, it seems like it holds some nostalgia because of where people were in their lives when they saw it the first time. So I didn't find a single review that was positive for, actual, this is a good quality movie. Those don't exist, I don't think. And I think even Sean will say he likes this movie because it's so bad it's good to him. That's fine.
Dude, this is like that scene in Pineapple Express, where if this shit had a baby with this shit, one of those. This is like if Hamilton had a baby with fucking Evanescence, okay, and those two fucked and had another baby, and that would be a fucking Temu Rob Zombie movie. That's what this movie reminds me of. That's all I can say. Rob Zombie,
all the parents,
much better writing than this movie, by the way.
And then all the parents that you just described, they all smoked during the pregnancy too. Like, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking fetal alcohol syndrome.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was rude. I apologize.
Maybe fire up the crack pipe. Maybe go to Demi Lovato's house and borrow some spoons. I don't know, but something's wrong with it.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, and I do have Sean's reaction. He did send it in. Thank you, Sean. At the end here, I have a feeling you're going to be the lone positive, but maybe not. Maybe the guys will talk me into liking this. Who knows? But I've got scene by scene tonight. You guys have anything else before we get started?
Let's do it. Should be a quick one.
Yeah, Brian, I'm sorry I asked you to do the scene by scene. I did not realize what the hell we were getting into. I apologize.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad you did because I can't wait to hear him. He's pretty good when he hates something. He's pretty good about making the scene by scenes funny. So this should be entertaining.
Okay, here we go. God rest my soul. We open up with a very cool comic depiction, admittedly, and an awesome soundtrack here, telling us that by the year 2056, an epidemic of organ failures has devastated the planet and wiped out 99% of the human population. Truthfully, after watching this movie, I was kind of praying for this in 2025, but anyway. The mega corporation GeneCo provides organ transplants on a payment plan. Clients who miss payments are hunted down by Repo men, skilled assassins who repossess the organs. Genetic Repo Man plays that whole story out as a song, but then the real movie starts and we get the song Genetic Opera Man. And I say song lightly because it's not sung, it's just really talked, and we see Repo in progress. We jump through some really bad CGI, like really bad, and head to the GeneCo building where we learn that the CEO of GeneCo, Roddy Largo, not related to Key, discovers he is terminally ill from the dude who played the High Priest in X-Men Apocalypse and gets about as much screen time as he's shot instantly. We then get this thing you see in a graveyard song because we needed to be told we are jumping to a graveyard as we meet Shiloh, who is visiting her mother's grave and who sees another awful CGI bug and sings, which I say lightly again, as she goes out into the graveyard to capture it and sees a grave robber who isn't trying to even hide it because, yeah, he's talk singing too. And if you do actually pay attention to the song, which is 21st Century Cure here, it's honestly hard to do, if I'm being honest. But if you do pay attention to it, we find out he's digging up some bodies to secrete Zydrate, a euphoric and addictive painkiller that he sells on the street to keep up with the GeneCo payments. The two are taken by the cops, and we see the GeneCo CEO watching the whole thing on a screen as Shiloh passes out, and we hear some computer saying that she should medicate immediately. I don't know. I'm barely able to follow this. Hopefully y'all are able to do a better job with this part. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the rest of the movie, but I will always love a Twisted Pictures Lionsgate opening. I think it's elite. This opening is unique right off rip, comic book style animation telling us of organ repossession. Alrighty then. And why did the doctor get shot? For telling folks the result of the testing? That's a tough gig. Good review talk, but the glow-up CG Scorpion didn't look great, but I do like the blue lighting of this room and this graveyard Shiloh is in there. It just reminds me of the 2000s. Like, it really stuck out. While the lighting looks good, I do think the set piece looks like crap and it looks cheap. And the last thing I got, and I'm just going to go ahead and give you a heads up, Mike. I don't have a lot of notes on any of this because I was just lost. And to be honest, I have no idea what I just watched this first set of scenes, and I think Sean Irwin. Just go ahead.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, man. My first thought, first line, Lionsgate made this shit? What the fuck? Was literally my first line. And you know it's going to be bad out the gate for me because there's a comic book strip in the open. Ugh, fucking nerdy shit already. Here we go. Anyway, already off to a bad start. First minute and 45 seconds feels like I'm doing acid, man. Like, what am I watching? And I can't believe Sean Irwin picked a fucking musical of all things. Hilarious. And I kind of said it in my open. I actually don't hate the slasher villain part of Repo Man. Like, I feel like, you know, with how bloody and gruesome, and I thought the character was played well. Like, put that motherfucker in a better movie, and I'd like to review it someday. But we don't get that. We get whatever the hell this is. Again, awful WWE character, though. So, anyway, the way it's shot, and Dustin mentioned this, just ugly. Just good. Like, it's like Saw, it's like Saw 7 or whatever, but worse. Like, it's really aesthetically not pleasing to look out there, man. Now, some of the songs. So, one, there's too many songs, right? Like, I think that in a musical, I like a little bit of a balance, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I like some talking that breaks out into song. This movie sings the entire time. This is a stage play in front of a movie camera. So I found that an interesting choice. Really took me out of it a couple times too. Some of the songs, though, I'll give them credit here, have that 99 to 2000 new metal vibe, or like that 04, 05, like Evanescence, or I'm trying to think of some other bands because I already used them, but you know what I mean? They have that feel to them, and I like that. I just don't like opera. Like, I think opera's not for me, and I talked about that a lot later. I'm getting angry about it too while writing this because I actually think the script itself and the concepts of this movie are not god-awful, okay, as far as the story they're telling. I just don't know why they decided to tell it like this. It kind of reminds me, and I'm sorry, Dustin, but it does remind me of Bones, where I'm like, the story here makes sense. It's good. I'd like to watch a movie about it. But what they actually execute is god-awful. Now, Bones is a better movie than this, so I will give you that. It's not even – honestly, I don't think it's close. Last thing I have here is, holy fuck, we have another hour and change of this. I can't believe this.
Yeah, I like the animated intro, comic book style. Like, that is awesome. And it's an interesting premise that sadly, like the movie's premise, sadly, I can see the U.S. doing in the future, given current trends towards corporate greed in healthcare. Like, it's not that far-fetched these days. Then I immediately hated how it looked when it went live action. Like, the color grading was just atrocious. And the flyby was awful. Very poorly done CG. I don't know if it was just of the time or if it was low budget and of the time. I'm going to go with that one. I do kind of like the costume and set designs, like that steampunk look. It's very unique. I don't have an issue with that. My issue is that it looked like a play set. Like you go to see a play on stage. It looked like that instead of a movie. So I agree with what you said. It does look very cheap. And I don't mind operas. Like, I just watched Amadeus recently about Mozart, and you know, he obviously did a lot of operas, and so there was several in that movie. I don't mind operas, but this one, just too much. Also, I do love Paul Sorvino, who plays Roddy. He's in one of my favorite comedies of all time, Money Talks. He's also in Goodfellas, R.I.P. to the legend. But yeah, I'm not loving it so far.
You know, I don't know if anybody will agree with me on this, but it's reminded me, besides the opera singing, if you took that part away and you just had this movie and the script and no singing part of it, it reminded me a lot of Reanimator. Like, to an extent. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Has anybody else seen Reanimator?
I've only seen it. I've seen it, but I haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying?
I was kidding.
Yeah, I've seen some clips, but I've never seen it all.
I watch it on YouTube at work, so I was having to pause it a lot. So
it has Barbara Crampton in it. I kind of thought that he might.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I bought a Blu-ray from her. She signed it.
Nice. We open up with Shiloh waking up in her bed with EKG beeping, and apparently Shiloh has inherited a rare blood disease from Marnie that requires her to stay indoors, and all that bitch wants to do is go fucking outside. Maybe I said that wrong. How about all that bitch wants to do is fucking go outside? We meet her doctor and Dad Nathan here, and we aren't sure at this point if what she's experienced in the graveyard was real or a dream. We get another cool comic display, though, and learn that Shiloh's overprotective father, Nathan, believes he accidentally killed Marnie with a treatment he created for her illness. I take back what I said earlier. Anthony Head can actually sing, and through this we see he is actually the Repo Man. We then jump back to Jinko Roddy's children, Luigi, Pavi, and Amber, who bicker, I guess, over who will inherit Jinko, with one of them claiming through this damn song that Paris Hilton's Amber and Bill Moseley's Luigi should actually fuck as brother and sister. All right. Back in Shiloh's room, she's watching Blind Mag commercial, and she receives a hologram message on her James Bond watch from Roddy, asking her to meet her at her mother's tomb for a chance at a cure. We then get another comic description where we learn that he had been married to Marnie as well, and when she got sick, Roddy snuck Nathan's lab and poisoned her and blackmailed Nathan, promising not to arrest him for manslaughter if he agreed to become Jinko's head Repo Man. Back in the real world, Roddy sings, and we learn that he isn't giving his children fucking shit. He smoke bombs Shiloh and promises her a cure for her blood disease, and she will get to meet Blind Mag if she goes to a function with him. We then get a New Balance commercial. Oh, my bad. That's just on my HBO Max. And at this point, the commercials look better than the actual movie. But here we go. Damn you, Sean Irwin. We cut back to Repo Man, who picks up his helmet, and I have to take a break before he fucking starts singing again.
Yeah, I hope this doesn't come across dumb since this is a musical, but does this movie kind of feel like a music video as well all the while? And I hope I don't let you down, Sean, but I'm really struggling to take notes while Shiloh continues to sing in her room. Maybe I'll just add a bunch of trivia from IMDb in here because I don't know what to say, honestly. I'm sure this is on purpose, but to me, the filtery, cloudy look of the film, I'm just not a fan of it. It just looks awful. Good to see Bill Moseley, and I laughed at him talking about finding a whore and fucking her. I laughed at that. And the last thing I got is this movie someone had to have written while high off mushrooms or an edible, because what the hell is going on with this right now? But it's a theatrical play, so I don't know.
So when I say I like musicals, I prefer a stage play version of them. And by the way, Dustin, I'd seen Amadeus. To me, that's an historical piece in a way, so like it keeps my interest the entire time. It's a little different than this, but like I get what you're saying. So like, and again, The Lion King is a musical animated. Like but it's not every fucking word is sung. Like, it's not like that. And so I'm not a big fan of their choice here to just sing the entire time. I don't know, just really, really silly to me. They also, and maybe I missed it because goddamn, they sang the whole time. Did they ever go over what illness the Shiloh has? Oh wait, she doesn't have one. That's right, spoiled in the end. Okay, now listen. I shit on all the music. One song I could see possibly making my workout playlist. Infected by Your Genetics. It's kind of a banger. Not gonna lie, a little bit of a, had a little bit of a, a new metal core to it. I enjoyed it, but that's the only one. More comic book cutaways. When does this nightmare end? How can I get off this train? Then they kind of explain stories during these cutaways, and in the words of Dustin as he sends the meme in the chat all the time, I ain't reading all that. Proud of you, or I'm sorry. That's how I felt when they kept showing these different backstories, man. I just really didn't care that much. Now, I would be very much interested in Shiloh and her dad and her mom dying and all that stuff if they weren't singing. But it would, like Nico said, and maybe I'm just an uneducated boob, which does happen quite a bit. It is hard to follow sometimes when there's a lot going on. The movie's shot terribly as far as the film, the blurry, weird, I don't know, and they're singing. I don't know, man. I don't know. I credited the one song, but a lot of these songs are just ass, to me, just not very good. Last thing I have here, this man was singing about Gene. I don't know. I cracked up. It did give me a good laugh. So you're welcome, Sean. This man is singing about gene replacement therapy like he's singing Carmen. That's an opera for all you people that don't know. I was like, this man is singing this really fucking seriously. And that cracked me up for some reason because he was talking about Shiloh and how she's perfect and all this stuff and his kids suck. He's singing that very, very seriously. Anyway, go ahead.
So I didn't have this in my notes, but I definitely thought it. And then hearing you say Shiloh multiple times reminded me. Anytime I hear the name Shiloh, I think of Grandma's Boy. When David Spade, they're at the restaurant, he calls him Guy Blow. He goes, "You're saying it wrong. It's Shiloh." But anyway, early in this set of scenes, I wrote, "How in the world are we supposed to take notes on this? Like, this is an impossible task." I definitely appreciate the return to the comic book animation when we get it, and we get it quite frequently. If the whole movie was like that, honestly, I would like it a lot more. I would actually probably love it. No singing, just the score playing, and let us read all the words. I'd probably give it at least a 5. But it's not. It's short-lived here, and we go right into another song. See, musicals that blend songs in, they're much easier to get into than the ones that are nothing but songs. This feels like watching an off-Broadway play, like way off Broadway play. And it gets worse. Paris Hilton. I'm out. I texted Nico. I was like, this movie does suck. Paris Hilton. And Bill Moseley doesn't even help to me because he's singing and dancing the entire time instead of actually acting. The problem is I can't even really pay attention to the dialogue or the actual story by this point because it's like sensory overload. I just lose interest and my attention drifts because of the musical or the songs and the unserious nature of what I'm seeing. Only an hour and 8 minutes left.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Sensory overload.
If I was doing notes, I would have said the same thing. You are 100% correct on that. The animation is something I did like and would have really enjoyed the entire movie being that. I agree. But we open up with Repo Man singing Thankless Job as we see him with his victim, who is, for some reason, singing along. We then merge into Blind Mag's commercial and find ourselves in Sanitation Square. We go into Pobby's dressing room where he's busy getting some dome from 2, quote, gin turns. And the group again start to argue after old dear daddy dies who is going to inherit what. When Largo shows up with Shiloh and introduces her to Blind Mag. Through another comic story, we'll learn that, born blind, Mag has been given surgically enhanced eyes by Jinko at the cost of indefinite employment. Though she is soon resigning. That's going to go over well. We intercut between Repo Man taking care of business and Shiloh trying to get home as well. Grave Robber helped Shiloh escape the fairgrounds, encountering several of his customers, including the surgery-addicted Amber, Paris Hilton, and we get the song Zydrate Anatomy. Shiloh learns that Mag's eyes are set for repossession and that Amber will replace her as Jinko's spokeswoman. After Jean cops arrive, Shiloh quickly returns home, and that's the end of the set of scenes.
Just giving you a heads up, Mike, I literally have 3 bullet points, so
I do too.
I'm going to be
Just
in and
gonna
out on
unmute
this
myself, and if I fart, I apologize. But I got gas over here.
I am so lost with all the singing and bouncing around. I am genuinely sorry to you, Sean, and all 5 of you who like this movie. This movie should be recording me with the sound, nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And the last thing I got is we're 40 minutes into the film, and I must give you props, Sean. I've never felt more stumped doing notes for a movie. I am lost in all of the sauce. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And then this movie starts.
Okay, I go back to, trying to throw in some positives here. I'm beating a dead horse because there's not much positive. Repo Man really is not like a terrible character, as far as how he was written. Like, I think, it ended up being Nathan, and that kind of, back and forth that we get between him being a normal human, person, dad on one hand, and then he's actually also a little bit of a psycho killer that they end up ruining at the end, but whatever. It's like a very BTK, right? Like normal life, no one thinks anything of it, and then all the while he's murdered people over however many years. So again, a little bit of a small positive for sure. Now, I do kind of like this carny world that they live in, for lack of a better term. It feels very, again, I keep using Timu. I'm going to try to get away from that because that's not fair. But again, look at the budget, kind of. In this Devil's Rejects, or not Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses universe where the signs are all lit up and there's a lot of advertisement and, like Dustin's mentioned here, there's a lot of corporate greed. I do think there's definitely some commentary on that. I kind of like the backdrop of the movie, but like you guys have already mentioned, it's sensory overload. There's so much here. There's shitty camera work, there's animation, there's singing the whole time. It is just so much going on. I honestly felt like Paris Hilton's role ends up being kind of small as far as speaking. I feel like they did that specifically for Dustin. I think she only had 4 lines throughout the movie. They're like, all right, we're going to put you in here because your name value, but we're not going to let you talk. And I feel like they did that just for Dustin. So you should bump the score up just a smidge for that, buddy.
Go for it.
I just think this plot with Rhodey and Jinko really fucking sucks. I don't necessarily hate the character a ton, but I just don't care about this family blood split while it's being sung to me. Even if they went full animation, like you guys said, I probably would be a little more invested. But I don't care. This makes me miss Rob Zombie's dialogue and writing. To be honest, I could really go for 31 or fucking or whatever right now. Anyway, last thing, the best thing in the movie up to this point, we're over an hour in, or no, we're not. We're 45 minutes in. Lord help us. It's a woman's ass. Finally saw a woman's ass, everybody.
All right. The TV ad and news report thing was cool, but then again, I think I only thought that because it gave reprieve from all the songs. It was just cool to hear someone speak normally. Seeing the Repo Man in action was kind of cool, I guess, so there's another positive for you. Last thing I got, this movie just feels like one long scene. I got lost in the bizarre madness I was watching and just didn't have anything else to write. Next.
We open up with Shiloh successfully sneaking back inside when Repo Man gets a James Bond watch call as well, summoning him to Roddy's office at once. It's there he's given the job of blind Mag's eyes. Nathan refuses to repossess Mag's eyes, citing her close friendship with Marnie, and we get the song Night Surgeon. Infuriated, Roddy vows to have Nathan taken out, and we see Mag visit Shiloh, revealing that she is her godmother and that Nathan had told her Shiloh died alongside Marnie, and cautions Shiloh not to make the same mistake she did through the song Chase the Morning. Nathan shows up and ousts Mag after she scolds him for lying to her and incarcerating Shiloh through another fucking song called Everyone's a Composer. Yeah, unfortunately for us, everyone in this damn movie is a composer. Anyway, Shiloh begs him to let Mag hide from the Repo Man in their house, but Nathan refuses, leading Shiloh to snap and finally condemn her father for his overbearing treatment of her and inability to move on from Marnie's death through the song 17, where somehow she's now on stage in her bedroom. Very bizarre stuff here. But then Nathan knocks her the fuck out, and that's the end of this set of scenes.
All right, starting now, I'm going to start reading trivia from IMDb because I have nothing new to say at this point. According to director Darren Lynn Bousman, Paris Hilton was so passionate about the film being made that when production was going to be halted due to the budget going over by $50,000, Hilton made a paid appearance at a nightclub for that sum to make up the difference and keep filming going. Despite this, she is not credited as a producer. That's crazy. Like, they could at least give her a producer tag. Darren Lynn Bousman originally refused to hold an audition for Paris Hilton. Justin said he wanted to be like me for real. He did not think she would be capable and feared media backlash or accusations of stunt casting. When he finally caved in, Paris came to the audition dressed, in quotes, perfectly for the part and rocked the sound booth audition. After the audition, he was convinced she should play the role. Many of the costumes worn by Amber Sweet and the support group members were Paris Hilton's own clothes. The entire set was built on one soundstage, and I believe it because it looked like dog shit. And this is just my own thoughts here. Mag looks like a cross between Elvira and Fairuza Balk from The Craft with a touch of Alexandria Daddario. And the last thing I got is we're at the hour point, and this feels like cruel and unusual punishment. Go ahead, Mike.
I was so fucking over it. I just like, why don't you just fucking talk? Just stop with the songs. Not even like fun, good songs. They suck. Like they're just talking and singing. They're not actual songs. That's the worst. God, I hate that shit. Again, I feel like this scene where they kind of capture Shiloh's dad, Nate, is supposed to be a big deal, but man, I don't care. And I wish, honestly, I wish they just gave Repo Man his own fucking side movie, man. That would be so much better. No singing, though, if anyone ever does that. For the love of God. Let's put this character in a good movie, please. Again, you mentioned who Blind Mag looked like there, Nico. I said she looked like Amy Lee. Again, there's an Evanescence reference. If you stuck Amy Lee in a microwave, that's how she looked. Anyway, not the human being, just the character. I'm sure the human being looks very, very nice, but just in this role, she kind of looked like a melted Amy Lee. But anyway, I don't want to be too rude there. I was already rude as fuck about Paris Hilton in the last set scenes. Again, there's some of this stuff, and this is all I really have, man, where this stuff feels interesting, especially with the three of them, Mag, Shiloh, and Nate. This all feels like it could be really good stuff, but they're singing. They're talk singing. And if I just did this on the show every week, you guys would hate me, and I know I would hate me too. See how the fucking stupid that sounds? Fucking terrible. Go ahead, Justin.
When Nathan brought the blood bag in that wicked cooler, all I could think about was how sick that thing would be full of Budweisers on a game day at Doak Campbell Stadium. Just talk about frosty cans. I want that cooler. When old girl rolled her eyes and then Princess Leia's hologram popped out with a message for Obi-Wan Kenobi, I almost turned the movie off, but then I remembered that I have to watch it for the podcast. Last thing I got, we're closer to the end. Huge positive.
We open up on this set of scenes with terrible CG gene cosign and see Amber with botched surgery and Roddy writing his will, ready to make Shiloh his sole beneficiary through the movie and through the song Gold. Roddy invites Shiloh to the opera through the billboard, and Nathan heads out to find her, pursued by gene cops, whom he quickly dispatches through the song At the Opera Tonight. Back at the Genetic Opera, Amber makes her stage debut, but hilariously her performance is ruined when her fucking face falls off. Blind Mag is introduced and gives her final performance, ripping her fucking eyes out in defiance. Roddy then cuts the cords suspending Mag, impaling her on the fence, but assures the panicking audience that Mag's death was all staged and part of the show. Meanwhile, in the back, Repo Man approaches Shiloh and is hit with a shovel. He removes his mask and reveals that he is Daddy Dearest. And for the love of God, the next set of scenes is the ending.
I wonder why Paris Hilton was so passionate about this movie being made. Off topic, but she seems to be a horror movie fan. I wonder what her letterbox top 4 would be for just horror. 1 hour and 10 minutes into this film, and I think I'd rather be driving behind the log truck in Final Destination 2. The effects on Mag ripping her eyeballs out were decent, so I can appreciate that. And then her getting spiked on the fence post. I thought it was a tough way to die. It's my favorite kill. Just go ahead and spoil that now. And like you just kind of mentioned, Dustin, finally made it to the last set of scenes. We're almost there. We almost made it home.
A fucking singing CEO. Goddamn, man. I mean, what are we doing here? This guy's the head of what I guess is supposed to be a billion-dollar company, and he sings the entire time. Just can't fucking get past it, man. Even Vince McMahon did not.
What? Some CEOs sing. Some go to Coldplay concerts. Pick your fighter.
Some go, nah, goodbye. Oh, sorry. Anyway, said Vince McMahon, stand back. That's the song I was thinking of. Stand back. That one. There you go. That's a fucking hilarious thing now, especially. Look, man, and this is before they reveal it. I was like, this guy's Gypsy Rose and this girl. I can already fucking tell. This is going to be, I can't ever say the Munchausen syndrome. That's a tongue twister for my stuttering ass. So I try not to say it. I just call it Gypsy Rose. That's it. That's the only thing I call it. I don't need to know the real name. Look, I do like that Nathan is kind of written as this like twisted Batman guy or whatever, but just not the right movie for it for me. I will say what's kind of impressive is he's able to change his pitch and voice very easily while he sings. He goes to like this kind of light, musical one, and then he gets down here like he's the Batman. Like, I think it's kind of fun. Serious question, though. We're going to an opera in a movie that has been an opera the entire fucking time? What? Man, make it all make fucking sense to me, man. Sean, make it make sense. It doesn't.
No, wait a minute. I thought Mikey loved meta.
I don't feel like this is meta, damn it. Not all meta is good, just most. Anyway, and plus I'm a hypocrite. Everybody knows that. So a real question, why is Grave Robber here, the character? What would you say you do here, in the words of Office Space? What is your point of being on screen besides singing really terrible songs? I will say I just shit on the opera, but this opening number is like the best part of the movie so far. It kind of rocks a little bit. So kudos to them. And hey man, Blind Mag, talented. I just don't care for opera singing. It burns my ears. I'm an uncultured ass swine when it comes to that. I think their ripping eyes out look cool. Shiloh hit her dad in the head Triple H style, except no burial to be found there. Only some people will get that. Last thing I have here is Shiloh is definitely a scene girl of 2008. It wouldn't surprise me if she had a MySpace profile pic where the camera's right above her forehead and she's doing a little peace sign with the kiss mark and the bangs come down. I guarantee she has one of those. Go ahead, Dustin.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on by this point. I'm just overwhelmed. It's near impossible to keep track of the story and dialogue because it's all being thrown at me in overlapping awful song verses. I will say, though, Paris Hilton's face falling off was probably my favorite part of the movie. It's pretty solid. And then, man, Blind Mag, just like a woman, so dramatic. She would rather pull her own eyes out and kill herself than face accountability. What are we doing here?
Jesus.
Shiloh and Repo Man's song was pretty cool. That was the best one of the movie, I think. Who knows at this point? Like, it caught my attention. I liked it there, so maybe it's the best. Anyway, we're almost there. I can feel it.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, this is the ending.
Finally.
On stage, Roddy reveals that Nathan has been poisoning Shiloh's medicine in an attempt to keep her safe from the outside world after being unable to cope with the loss of Marnie. As his health rapidly declines, Roddy offers Shiloh Jinko if she kills her father. When she refuses, Roddy uses the last of his strength to fatally shoot Nathan and dies after disowning his children. After a tearful farewell to her father, through the song I Didn't Know I'd Love You So Much, Shiloh decides that Nathan's actions do not dictate her future through the song Genetic Emancipation. Shiloh flees, leaving Jinko with no legal heir. Amber inherits the company instead and auctions her fallen face to charity, which Pavi wins after Luigi kills the top three bidders. Unbelievable. That's the end. What did you guys think?
This movie continues to be painful to watch. This hurts almost as much as the 2023 playoff snub. This movie is more painful than creasing a new pair of Jordans. This movie is more painful than when Noah saw Allie kiss Lon Hammond in The Notebook. This movie is more painful. I'm not done yet.
This is the best thing I've heard all night. Go ahead.
This movie is more painful than being blind and left on felt. Love you, Sean, but this is love you, Sean, but this has been my worst experience ever doing a film review. Congrats on making history. And this was so bad it crossed my mind to end the legendary blood donor campaign.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought that.
Hey, this is what he wanted. This is what he wanted. He wanted us to shit on this bad.
Yeah, he
knows
wanted us
it.
to suffer, and he did.
This is what he paid for, so this is what you get, buddy. This is the kind of response you get. I tried to give real analysis, but I just got to be fucking honest. I'm so glad it's over. You said it's almost as painful as the playoff snub. Nothing, Deco, is more painful than the 2023 playoff snub, buddy. I'd rather have my nuts stepped on than ever experience that again. But anyway, so look, man. Oh, great. More fucking opera. We're at an opera where they're singing, and they're singing about being at the fucking opera. I can't deal with this shit anymore, man. I just wish this script was handled by somebody else to not sing the whole time. Look, man, I just don't care about what happens here at the end. Okay, Nate's anti-hero, I guess. I don't fucking know, man. Kind of tried to poison his daughter, and they still sing a sweet love song to each other at the end. I don't know, man. Just glad it's fucking over, because all they kept playing in the last 30 minutes was, I don't know if you guys know who Hawthorne Heights is, but the song Ohio is for Lovers has to cut my wrist and black my eyes. That's what I wanted to do while watching this fucking movie. Go ahead.
Shiloh, don't act sad or concerned when your dad gets knifed. You literally just said you wished he would die. Women, even they don't know what they really want. I'm not going to lie. When he handed her the loaded gun, I wish she had unloaded the clip on everyone in the room with no hesitation, so maybe the movie would have just ended immediately. But then it kept going. Sean, I'm sorry. Then again, you knew what you were doing when you picked this. You wanted to punish us. Well played.
All right, guys, let's jump into our social media comments and questions. I'll do Instagram first. Elbow.Tyler commented, Zydrate comes in a little glass vial with the music emoji. Man, I really don't even remember which song that was, because there was 51 of them, if I'm not mistaken. So I can't keep up. M. Rue Stone commented, yes, this one is so bizarre and ridiculous. The Devil's Carnival is also entertaining. I'll take your word for it, because I don't want to watch anything like this again, so respectfully. And the last thing we got is from some guy named DM Frank _. I have a question. Why is Sean the way that he is? We're all trying to figure that out, but we appreciate you. Dustin, you got the old X's pulled up?
Yeah, and I will say that last guy that commented on Instagram sounds like an absolute stud. I hear he's an eligible bachelor. Anyway,
I liked his comment, whoever that is. I liked it.
Seems like a great guy.
Yeah.
We just had one on Blue Sky, none on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. But on Blue Sky, Sean the Gleeman himself said, would you rather watch this one again or Sweeney Todd? To which I replied,
are you kidding?
I think it'll be unanimous, but I'll ask on air anyway.
Are you kidding?
We all
Seriously?
like Sweeney Todd, right?
Yeah,
we all like Sweeney.
I liked it.
I mean, it wasn't like the best movie of all time, but it's good.
Dude, Sweeney Todd was so much better than this.
So much better.
I'd rather stick my dick in a meat grinder than watch this movie again. Are you kidding?
Well, there you go.
I'd rather stick mine in Brittany Griner.
There it is. There it is. God.
That's my
Oh, which one?
Anyway, and then Sean replied again and said, oh, I have no doubt what the answer is. And there's also 2 more musicals by this crew as well. Keep that in mind. No, we won't, because guess what? Program canceled.
Sean, your bad movie picks? You just made the list.
I was going to say, Sean should know that because of his movie, I decided to start up a NCAA Football 2005 Dynasty while watching it because it was so bad with the Western Carolina Catamounts. So there you go. Thank you, Sean.
Literally anything is better. On Facebook, we had one, and Sean forgot to switch to his burner account because Sean Irwin commented, man, that guy has good taste.
But anywho, you guys got any fun facts you want to share?
I got a couple. In the scene where we first see the character Pavi, the face he is wearing at the time is actually a mold of Darren Lynn Bousman's girlfriend's face. That's cool. There's a total of, you said 51, Nico. There's actually a total of 58 songs in the film, including instrumentals. This one I actually did like, and I noticed it, but I was just going to say it here. This movie was shot digitally except for flashback sequences. All the flashback sequences were shot on 16 millimeter film. Best thing about the movie. The timeline, This movie takes place in 2056, and the flashbacks are in 2040. So not that far off.
Wow.
Then we got this one's interesting, I guess. Patrick Swayze was originally selected to be cast as Nathan, the Repo Man, but had to drop out due to his cancer diagnosis. Anthony Stewart Head was later cast in the role. R.I.P. Patrick Swayze. You made, not for the right reason, but it's a good thing you weren't in this movie. I don't want to tarnish your legacy. And then the last one I've got is that Paul Sorvino. I mentioned him already. He was in C Spot Run, classic movie with David Arquette.
It's easy sometimes. 1 degree is
Brian,
all
you
it
got any
takes.
fun
Buddy.
facts you want to share? All right, Mike, go ahead with the budget.
This movie was made for $8.5 million for some reason. This may be the lowest grossing film that actually had a theatrical release that we've ever done. Worldwide box office was $188,126 total from U.S. and international markets. Not even $200,000.
Be honest, Sean. How much of that was you?
Yeah. It was originally just supposed to be a direct-to-DVD movie, and so when it did get a theatrical release, it was extremely limited. So I'm surprised it even got that much.
It earned every penny it deserved.
Yeah.
It does say it made a decent amount in DVD sales. I didn't look at the number. I just remember seeing it when I did the research. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Nico will have a steelbook by next week, buddy.
No, never. You could buy this movie and give it to me, and I would just give it away on the pod. I would never keep this in my house.
Just give it away.
Whoa. It's a good song. Let's jump into our favorite kill, least favorite kill, and the rating. Dusty, you want to kick us off?
Sure do. Favorite kill. Same as my least favorite kill. None of them. Because I hate this movie. Rating. Look, I wanted to like it. I expected to like it more than my co-host. I hated it. It was sensory overload, and I didn't care one bit about the story because the songs were so distracting and overwhelming. I wrote on Letterboxd that watching this was more painful than when my wife left me. I give this movie a 1, but it's still a better musical than Amelia Perez. I do want that to be known. And Amelia Perez was nominated for Best Picture, so.
That's wild you said that on Letterboxd. I'll go next. Favorite kill, I'm going to go with Blind Mag. I did appreciate her ripping her eyes out and falling on the fence post. Least favorite kill, the hour and 40 minutes of my life that I lost and will never get back. Sean, love you, brother. I don't know how you pick not Sinister, and then something like this. You got range. I'll just give you that. You're like Gary. You're the Gary Oldman of this show. You got range, I guess.
Hey, he was in Tiptoes. Everybody go watch Tiptoes.
That's what I was going to say. You picked Tiptoes. I bet Tiptoes is 100 times better than this movie.
Oh, so much better.
At least it's got Kate Beckinsale in it. You can at least have something to look at. This movie was terrible. I genuinely hated it. I missed watching Creature from the Black Lagoon. It was so bad. I give it a .025.
Nice.
0.25.
Nice.
I don't know if I can even go lower, but that's what I'm giving it.
Let me read Sean's first. Okay. Repo, the genetic opera, is a cult classic for a reason. The music, the setting, the story, and characters are all vivid and work together for one hell of a unique ride. Even Paris Hilton's character has an arc. The grave robber is the best kind of asshole the entire movie, and it wouldn't work without him. Overall, love this movie, with the worst song being Legal Assassin and the best song being Night Surgeon. Look, Sean, I'm sorry. I don't even know which songs you're talking about, brother. Favorite kill is the guy turns into a puppet during the thankless job. Least favorite kill is Mags. Still on the fence about that decision. 8 out of 10 movie.
Okay. Sean, for one thing, I don't know what you're talking about with the grave robber. That shit don't make no sense. My favorite kill was actually all the Repo Man ones. I thought they were good. And again, I like a good traditional slasher kill there. But anyway, my least favorite is the exact same as Nico's, which is the time I spent. I killed the time I spent watching this fucking movie. God. Anyway, okay. Yeah, man, I've kind of defecated upon it enough, Sean. I appreciate you being such an avid listener, and I appreciate you checking out the pod, always hyping us up, supporting us, and I appreciate your donation here as well. You're getting exactly what you paid for, which was to make us suffer, and then you wanted us very much so to hate it and shit on it, and that's what we've decided to do tonight. So you're getting exactly what you paid for. Maybe next time you pay for one, pick something not fucking this, okay? Thank you so much. I gave this movie a -4.
All right, Sean. My favorite kill is honestly you should have seen what I was seeing, because I was coming up with some elaborate ways to kill myself while I was watching this movie. It was crazy. So that's my favorite. I don't have a least favorite kill. I struggle to find a single good thing about this movie. I said I didn't know which one I disliked more, this or Rubber. Well, like I mentioned, I gave Rubber a 0, if you recall. You guys did talk me into at least remembering that the soundtrack was decent. So I did give it 1 point for that. I also gave it a 1.
Dude,
Nice.
I would watch Rubber over this in a heartbeat.
0 chance.
In
They're
a
both
heartbeat.
so bad. God, they're so bad.
I didn't say it was good, but this was the biggest pile of dog shit.
Well, we have a lovely score. Our composite score tonight, gentlemen, amongst us 4 co-hosts, without Sean's 8 bringing it up, just us, negative 0.4375.
Too high.
It's too damn
Undeserving.
high.
Internet Movie Database 6.4. Letterboxd 3.1.
That's insane.
All of those, I
Are you
understand.
kidding?
Because there's people like Sean who, it's so bad it's good. He didn't say that necessarily.
We need to
that's-
go vote the other way. Like, I'm tired of this.
But here's the shocker, guys. Here's the shocker. Rotten Tomatoes, people that get paid to give their opinion about movies, 37%. That is 37% too high. There's no
crazy.
way that 37% of critics who gave a review thought that this was at least a 3 out of 5. I refuse to believe it. They were
they
paid.
didn't watch it.
Paris
They didn't
Hilton
watch
paid
it.
them.
Yep. They didn't watch
Only
it at all.
explanation.
I can be
No
bought.
fucking way.
Same.
Me too.
Same, actually.
Same. So,
It's gonna cost you more than $75, Sean.
hell yeah.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts before we just shout out our blood donors, and then Dustin can announce his theme, and Brian can announce his pick.
Yeah.
All right, let me shout out these blood donors. Sean Irwin, legendary blood donor, picked the worst movie I've ever seen on this show. Appreciate that, brother. You the man. Camper level reoccurring, Nina, the Horror Movie Crew podcast, Michelle Mirza, Steve Schmidt, Matt from the UK, one of the funniest people we got on the commenting now, and Anthony Andrews. Camp Council reoccurring, Edward Hernandez Gunn, Joe Swinford, Adrian Aiello, Brian Samick, Andrew Ferguson, Brooke Maley, Heather Superdoc, Jennifer Davis from the Too Close to Home Pod, Dana Tucker, Cole McAlexander, Max K, Madison Arzola, and Casey Smith. Really appreciate y'all. It takes a huge burden off of us. Dustin, you want to announce your theme for next month?
Yeah, I really thought about dipping back into the A24 well, but I
Good night.
figured Brian has had enough of that. So what's the next best thing? Let's stay with indie horror, but let's keep it with one studio, Neon. I've been working my way through all the Neon movies. I've only got, I think, 15 to go now. I just recently watched Clemency with Alfred Woodard. She's so good. But anyway, Neon. So, Brian, what movie from Neon Studios did you pick?
Well, being that I have only seen 2, I think, Neon movies. Well, that are horror movies. I did see, what's the stripper movie called?
Anora.
Anora. I did see Nora, but that doesn't count. So I have 2 horror movies to pick from. One of them we have already reviewed, and one of them Mike, I believe, is picking. So I am going to, at the suggestion of my co-host, treat this as a never seen it month. So I am going to pick Hell of a Summer. I've never seen it, and so if it's bad, it's not my fault.
You know what's crazy about that is 2023, that's fine. It actually released in theaters this year. I saw it twice in the theaters already this year, so I'm looking forward to it. And don't sell yourself short, buddy. You saw Little Monsters. We reviewed that one. That's Neon.
Well, isn't that the only one we reviewed? Or was
Long
Long
Legs.
legs.
Long Legs?
Long
That's
Legs.
the one I was thinking of. Was Long Legs? Okay, no, I forgot about Little Monsters.
Little Monsters is a banger. That's a good movie.
Banger.
Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back next week with Neon Month, Hell of a Summer. Looking forward to it. That's a fun little flick. We'll be back. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Sean, don't ever
Rather-
donate again.
I'd
Just
rather
kidding.
than Neon Moon Month, buddy.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody,